Hello everyone, welcome to Rockshire Gaming. My name is Eric. Today we're going to be doing our third part in our unboxing series for various expansions in Marvel United, Season 1 and Season 2. Currently, CMON Games, the makers of Marvel United, has a Kickstarter out for their multiverse campaign, and they are offering this box right here, which is the Mutant Promos box. For $120 on the Kickstarter page. It's exclusive to the Kickstarter still. However, I would say, I'm going to go with the disclaimer, if you are going to get the game, go ahead and get either this box, I would say get this box over the other one just because for the same price you're getting a lot more characters in it, but that's just my opinion on that. But today we're going to be unboxing this monstrosity here just to... if you're on the fence about getting it, hopefully this will sway you in either direction that you want. So let's go ahead and take a look at the box. Yeah. So as you can see, we have some very lovely artwork on the cover, especially your boy Nightcrawler, who everybody was clamoring for during the previous Kickstarter. If you notice, if you know the count of all the different characters, not all of them are on the cover of this box. They decided, because of the fact that there were so many characters in the game, to, on the top and bottom, put Alpha Flight on the artwork there, and then on the sides they went with the New Mutants there. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at the inside of the box. Not going to look at the back cover just because everything will fall out of here if I did that. So we're going to lift up the box here. Yay. And move that right there. Now when you open the box, the first thing you are going to see is the big giant X-Men logo there on the storage box for the miniatures. As we go ahead and also take that out, there is no artwork on the sides or anything like that, but on the back of it we do have a layout of how the box trays are laid in here, as well as what figures go where. These two figures right here are Storm with a mohawk and Old Man Logan. They were not in this box. Storm you got if you went with the Apocalypse Pledge. There was the initial pledge for $60 and then the Apocalypse Pledge for $100. That was what you got there for that as a bonus. Old Man Logan, I believe, was the all-in pledge. You got both of those characters if you went all in on the game. Both of those characters, when they ship to you, are shipped in these boxes right here. So they are not included in this box of mine like they are in the regular United Promos box. So let's go ahead and take this and put it over here because, you know, we always save the miniatures for last. And we'll take a look at what is in here. Now, first thing you are going to see when you open this box, your card should not be all over the place because when you get it, it'll probably be sealed. What you are going to get is this cardboard piece of tokens right here. As you see, all mine are still in the was it frame? It's still in the cardboard. Hasn't been punched out. Punch board. That's what these are called. It's still in the punch board. I actually have all my plastic tokens open and use those whenever we play. So there's that. That's what you get for that. And then the other thing you have in here before you get to player cards is going to be the dashboards. These are the dashboards for all of your villains. There are quite a few in here that we will take a very brief look at. I know I kind of in the last video with the United Promos kind of went over a little bit too much. But yeah, this is a lot of villains. That's why I always say if you're going to do anything with this campaign, even if you're not going to buy expansions or add-ons, anything like that, if you're just going to get the base game, I know you can get the base, you're probably going to be able to get the base game for a lot cheaper after the campaign's over. Amazon right now, I believe, has United 1 for $20 and Marvel United 2 X-Men for I think it's like $30 or $35 right now. It's not going to be the $65 that Multiverse is right now. Both of those games were $65 base pledges. However, you are getting a massive amount of stretch goal boxes. I know they're not technically free. As far as free characters, even in the main game, you're basically paying that extra amount of money for the stretch goals and the other two past campaigns. But if you look at it in that way, let's say that this game, United, does get sold for about $30, $35 retail, you're still getting all the stretch goals and everything for $30, whereas now for season 1 and 2, you're spending $120 per box, $220 if you get both of them. So regardless, you're still coming out ahead if you stick with the campaign. And then, like I said, you get a ton of content with that. Now, these cards here for the dashboards are including both the red villain tokens and our miniatures, as well as the purple anti-heroes. Purple anti-heroes, if you didn't know this already, and how did you not, are going to have a villain version and a hero version. So we got quite a few things in here. Some differences between original United as well is that they do show on here the supervillain mode tokens that you start with. These are the tokens that the heroes start with. Hero players must keep their hero cards in hand revealed. So, okay, anyway. So yeah, it's going to be on the back of these cards right here. I don't know where Legion's special setup is. So that is going to be the difference between United 1 and United 2. United 2, all the supervillain mode was introduced in that one. So that's why they're printed on the back of these cards. Most likely, they will be on the back of the cardboard dashboards when they do reveal those, probably later this week, if not very early next week. The original dashboards for cardboard dashboards they introduced for the classic game does include the supervillain mode writing on the back. That was it because they were released during the X-Men campaign. So there's that right there. So we can flip it over here. And we have characters like Arcade, Avalanche, the Broad Queen. Let me look at the villainous plot. So you kind of see there's all these special rules for what to do. But for like Arcade, heroes lose if Arcade has 4 crisis tokens on his dashboard. Let's see here. Villainous plot for the Broad Queen. Villains lose if at the end of a villain turn, all locations have a threat card. Let's see here. Villainous plot for Dark Phoenix. The heroes lose if all locations are turned face down before any mission has been completed. So Deathbird, the heroes lose once all 5 locations have crisis tokens. So I didn't go through the special rules, what the BAMs did, anything like that. But even from the villainous plots, the losing condition for the heroes, already from the few just read, there's a lot of variety to them. The villains are what makes the variety in this game. So I encourage you to at least look into getting the stretch goal boxes now that they're being offered again, for no other reason than this is going to be you're going to get a ton of heroes to mix and match with those, but you're going to get the highest concentration of villains per box out of any of the boxes. Usually most boxes have 1, if not 2 villains in them as far as the expansion boxes go. Even the main boxes only have 3 to 4 villains if you count the anti-heroes as villains. So there is your dashboards for your villains. Now, next thing we're going to look at that makes the game is the cards. Now, just so you're aware, it's not your screen. I do have some damage to parts of my inner tray. One of the things I am looking at, I haven't contacted CMON ever about getting a replacement tray, but one of the things I've looked at is replacing the trays with foam. I have there's a box over there yonder that I'm planning on taking all the cards out of this once they're sleeved, because not all the sleeved cards will fit in here, as you saw from the United stretch goal box. Once you sleeve everything, you just, like, as of right now, like I said, if you look in these wells, all these wells are filled and there's no sleeve cards. So I put right here, still have them here, I have a couple of these boxes that I put the overflow cards too. But what I'm going to probably look into doing, probably from Battle Foam, is get inserts for these for the miniatures, so that when I paint them, they're not still sitting in the plastic trays, and then just dumping the tray inside here and using a rather large card box to hold them in. But let's take a look. We're going to look at this middle pile right here, because this is one of the things that comes with in the stretch goal box, and you'll get it in your stretch goal box for Multiverse, is that they add in a bunch of superhero and supervillain cards for the supervillain mode. You're going to be using a number of these cards to give to the heroes to use, and you have these supervillain cards for that player to use. The supervillain mode, if you did not know, is the mode in which you can have a fifth player in the game, and they are the ones controlling the they're the ones who are controlling the villain in the game. So you can't have a one versus many mode in the game. So yeah, they give you those cards there. These are going to be different than the cards in the X-Men stretch goal box. These are going to be, I'm sorry, these are the cards from the X-Men stretch goal box. These are going to be different cards than what's going to be in the Multiverse cards. The core sets are all going to have the same cards. So the X-Men core, the Multiverse core, and the Spider-Geddon core are all going to have the same exact superhero cards. The stretch goal box for X-Men has extra cards in there. They were an unlock. And then the stretch goal box for Multiverse will have a different set of cards. So, yeah, so that'll be another cool addition going through this. More cards to, again, give more variety. That's all what you want from this game is variety. Now, let's go ahead. Go ahead and take a look at this first pouch of cards right here with Gwenpool on top. You can already see she has her starting hand card, but you've got Gwenpool, you've got I don't remember what he's calling the game, Vindicator or Guardian, whichever one. You have Firestar, Feral from X-Force, Phantom X with his starting hand card. You have the hero version of Emma Frost, White Queen. You have Dupe. You then have Dazzler. I do have to remember when I make my Dupe comments that he is someone's favorite character. Don't know whose, but he's someone's favorite character. Again, I don't say any of these things to give you a hard time about that. I'm not a Dupe fan. I don't understand how. Never mind. We have Cloak and Dagger here. Captain Britain. Boom Boom or Boomer, whichever one she was called, and Blink in there. Let's take a look, as we did with the Fantastic Four. No, as we did with the last box, we'll take a look at Blink's cards, since she is technically the only multiversal character in here. You know what? I'm just realizing we don't even have a team card for Exiles yet. You think they would have one? Maybe they do, and I just didn't look at the promo box ones enough. I don't think we do, because that would be her, Morph, Sabretooth. Did we get one? No, I don't think we got one. Anyway, so Blink has a good number of movements, heroic action cards, her wild and double wild, share her warp portals. Move to any location, then you may move any heroes to your location. She's got, looks like a couple of those. The main difference is that one each has a different one of each symbol on it. So they've got that, and then let's go ahead and look at just for fun. Let's look at Gwenpool, and of course her cards aren't stylized like Deadpool's are, but Gwenpool's got a bunch of wild actions in the midst of there. She's got, looks like a ton of, oh my gosh, I was skipping them all. Half her deck is half. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 of her cards are special effect cards. So she's got medium awareness, flip any 2 cards in the storyline. Okay. Let's see. Flip any 2 cards in the storyline. No consequences in a fictional world. Discard cards until you have 1 in your hand. For each card discarded, deal 1 damage to everything else in your location. Discard all civilians. There, she's got a couple of those, and then send to gutter space. remove both Gwenpool and a henchman in her location from play at the beginning of your next turn. Place them in any location with no threat and deal 2 damage to that henchman. And then Gwenpool, Jeffrey, the land shark, as long as this card is face up in the storyline, at the end of your turn, you can deal 1 damage to a thug or henchman in your location that you did not damage this turn. So that's pretty good. Set of cards right there for Gwenpool. So we'll take this back over here, throw those back in, and let's look at the villain side this time. We'll go in here for cards with Mojo. Mojo, he is there with his cards and his threats. Mastermind with his cards and threats. Marrow, who did not look like that when she was a villain, with her cards and threats. Then Legion, that's one of the ones I wanted to take a special look at, as we saw from the card. So Legion has his main master plan deck. We'll go ahead and take a look at that. So his in-game card, oh, that's right, because he's got all the names of the cards in there. So yeah, he's got movement cards for in-game, movement cards for chain, move clockwise to the next location with the most thugs. So time sync, the Nazi Doctor, until the start of the next villain turn, cancel all special effects on hero cards. That's going to be rough. Deal 3 damage to each hero in Legion's location and 2 damage to heroes in adjacent locations. So that's going to be rough as well. And finally, place 1 crisis token in Legions and both adjacent locations. Before revealing the next master plan card, deal 2 damage to each hero in those locations. If there are no heroes, discard all civilians there. Then discard all those crisis tokens. So that's his main deck. And then he gets his 6 threat cards: split personality, alpha, beta, delta, gamma, epsilon, and Lamboa, all with different heroic actions to solve there. And then I'm trying to remember Legion's ability, so let's go ahead and look at that. Legion to me, just in the campaign, was one of the more diverse characters. So, and then you have his personality cards, which get placed here. So, like if you're using in-game here, you would place the card there, and that would determine his overflow and special rules for that character. So, according to his card, his special setups with Master Card deck into 6 different personalities, as we saw. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Shuffle each deck and remove 1 card from each of the game. Stack the 6 decks face down in this order, and they give you the order for it. Place the personality cards face down next to their dashboard. Stack in the same order. And then special rules: Legion is the personality currently indicated on the master plan card in the storyline with the corresponding overflow, special rules, and villainous plot, if any. The space to the right must always contain the personality card corresponding to the last master plan card in the storyline. Heroes must complete all 3 missions before Legion becomes vulnerable to damage. When the last threat is cleared, the heroes may put 1 master plan card from the storyline at the bottom of the master plan deck. When the hero is KO, discard 1 token from a mission that has not yet been completed. So, like I said, variety on there with his special characters there. So the first 3 do not have a villainous plot. There, I think it was Chain was next there. So when he's on endgame, can't be damaged. When he's on Chain, Legion can't take any damage there. If there are any thugs in the location, time sync, ignore any effects that would delay the villain turn. So he's got 6 different overflows, 6 different special rules. He's got villainous plots toward the end. So basically, you're trying to outwit the villainous plot and take him out as early as possible. So there is that right there. So it's kind of an example of one character who can be very complicated, more complicated than some of the other ones in the game. But again, you see the variety, as that is probably the most varied character in this box, not counting the fact that with Toad, Blob, and Pyro, you're fighting all three of them at the same time. Yeah, so again, villain variety is going to be the biggest one here. I'm not going to go through, again, all the various cards in here, but you do have characters who go back and forth between having a starting hand and those who do not. Like X-23 does have a starting hand card. There's it's Wolfsbane, yeah, I was gonna say. Logan, 4 Logans in this game total with a his starting hand card. So yeah, I'm not gonna go through. Like I said, I know I look like I'm going through. There's all the Alpha Flight members and Polaris, but yeah, like again, so much variety in this game. With that said, we're gonna go ahead and look at how the cool minis are organized in here. So we're gonna take this X-Men box here. We're going to open it, open. There we go, and take out these trays. And they will be loud. I'm sorry for your speakers. So unlike the it's called the Avengers set, unlike the Marvel United promos that had one tray of heroes and one tray of half heroes, half villains, we do have a full tray of villains right here. I'm gonna move that down there and move that there. Then the next tray is, stop it, move this over more on the camera. So you get your one tray of villains, and then you get a second tray that has heroes and the anti-heroes on it, and you can already see a difference in how these are made, because you see a lot of like fire effects and whatnot and on various characters. So like Phoenix here, is it gonna zoom? Yeah, that now it's gonna work. It didn't work on the last video. Phoenix here with her Cosmic Turkey on the back of her there. And then let's see what else we have. We have Namor, who you couldn't paint the base. I mean, you can, but it is clear plastic even on the bottom there. So if you are a painter going to paint, if I'm going to paint these, I would usually try to paint a border around the bottom of either purple, blue, or red, depending on the character. But that is going to be Namor right there. And then let's see who else is cool looking in here. Rachel also has the fire effect behind her. This would be one that I would be worried about with painting, because if you can't take them apart, because on the back side here you're going to be able to see the blue, and not really come up in the camera much, but you're not going to be able to see the blue as well as or no, you're going to be able to see the blue more so when you're painting and everything, so you can't like take them apart and do whatever. Let's see, who's another cool one on here. Here's Onslaught. There he is in all of his glory. I think he's got a base bigger than most. All the big guys have some pretty big bases on there. He would have to be. That was an event right there. That I know we're not going to get that as an expansion because we got him here, but Onslaught would have been a pretty cool event. So I mean, the man was responsible for taking out most every hero in the Marvel Universe. So there is that. Let's see. We also got the Lockheed figure, which this is for the most part, I think, a token for Shadowcat to replace a token piece that's in her that came with her kit and everything. So is it? I think that's what it was. No, there's a card or something like that with Shadow. I never played with Shadowcat, so I can't remember what her deal was. So I know Lockheed was a token that I thought he was replacing something in there, but I guess not. I might be wrong. But yeah, like I said, so 3 full trays of characters, 2 trays missing. Let's actually go ahead and take a look at the other boxes. So like I said, this is the Storm box. We're gonna, as soon as I can find my knife, go ahead and open this up. Let's see. like I said, I have not even played through all the characters in this or Marvel United 1. To play through a few of them, but not all of them. Just timing wise and everything. Like, you guys saw me freshly open the Fantastic Four boxes. I'd never actually even gotten through that one myself either. So, but we will here soon. So there's that. So when you get these boxes here, and I'm really hoping I'm not opening up a broken figure. When you get these boxes here, don't rip it. There we go. All right. It basically comes like this in its own little plastic piece there, and there is Storm's deck with her starting hand card right there. We'll add it to the rest. But yeah, so she literally will come out of this right here, and you will place her right there in her deck, and the way, or in her deck, her spot right there, and the way she sits in there will be, it'll be covered up by Havoc right there. And then let's go ahead and open Old Man Logan. Now, one of the things I do find funny on her is that they do have a lightning effect on the figure there that is part of the blue. I don't know if they would have gone back and been able to change that, especially now that we've got Nate Gray in the Age of Apocalypse box that we are getting. If he would, because he's got yellow lightning effects on there. They're actually doing more than just like the water and the clear and the fire. We're actually getting quite a few other effects in the game. So there's Old Man Logan's card, his deck with, again, a starting hand card. But yeah, so you take him out, it's be like, oh look, he's got this cool, cool figure. That's a cool figure, and bloop, drop him back in there. So he can take it. But yeah, that is what your tray is going to look like full now with all the characters that you get in the game. So yeah, this is the gist of the promos box, the Mutant Promos Box, offered in Marvel United X-Men, and is now being re-offered in Marvel United Multiverse. So as I blabbed and ranted out about before, you are going to get a lot more variety in this one. Not saying you're not going to get a lot of variety in the regular United promos, but you do get a whole extra tray's worth of figures. You're going to get, even then, you've got 5 characters that are basically working as 10 optional characters. The only problem with the anti-hero aspect is that you can't have like a time jump thing where you have White Queen fighting against a White Queen. In that respect, you can't have a good version of Namor fighting an evil version of Namor. Again, I don't think... I think the only time before the multiverse campaign where you actually had it to where you can have the same villain fight themselves is going to be in with Venom from the first campaign because of the villainous Loki that came out. Although we do have villain versions of in the Phoenix 5 box that I forgot all about sitting right there. So you can have First Class Cyclops and 90 Cyclops on your team with Namor and White Queen fighting against themselves, excuse me, in the Phoenix 5. So yeah, you can do all that reality warping stuff. You can literally, with this box, have a team of Wolverines. We've got 2 of them sitting right here, one in an expansion box and another one in a core box. So, so yeah, you got that going on now. Is that all the Wolverines we have? For some reason, I thought there was a 5th Wolverine that was just introduced. I might be wrong. I'm probably wrong. But yeah, so this is Marvel United X-Men Mutant Promos box. So if you are going to buy this on the Kickstarter, go ahead and let me know in the comments if you are going to purchase this or not. I am not, because I already own it. But yeah, let me know in the comments what your favorite character is from this expansion. We are going to be doing more gameplay of this in the coming days and weeks. Like I said, we're going to be doing a Fantastic Four playthrough, but I would love to actually go through and not because I don't want to do just the core box heroes from X-Men or Marvel United. I played those characters enough, teaching people how to play the game. But give me some thoughts about any villains from this or the other stretch goal box that you would want to see us do a playthrough of during the campaign, and ideas for what characters and or teams from these boxes that you want us to try out, or if there's an expansion box you specifically want us to try out after Fantastic Four, I would love to do that. So with that said, I would like to thank you guys for tuning in, watching. I would like to ask you to please like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell there for notifications, and that is all. So thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.